Hi everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to learn that how to easily read and write different types of files in Python. Files are everywhere on computers, mobile devices, and across the cloud. Working with files is essential for every programmer regardless of which programming language you are using. After you finish this tutorial, you will know how to read and write text files, CSV files, and JSON files. I have created a new demo project and activated a new virtual environment in PyCharm editor. There is source folder in the project wherein we have taken different type of files which we are going to deal with in this tutorial. We are going to first read these plain txt files in our Python program. Let's try the open function by opening a text file. I'm going to take one variable, file path. We will refer sources folder and then the file name app plain text.txt. Right? We will use open built-in function which will expect one argument file path and it will accept a file mode, that is read mode. We are going to read the file. Use a read function of this f object and then we will close the file. Pretty simple. Okay. If you run the program, you will see all the lines from these files are displayed on the console window. You see, in Python, we can use with context manager to ensure Python releases the resources used after the file was closed. Okay. So instead of f like this, we will use with keyword and we will take f here. Okay. We don't need to close the file now. Let me run the program. You will see the same output again, right? So far we have learned the entire context of a file that can be read with read function. What if we only want to read few bytes from this text file? So what we will do, we will just mention any specific number of bytes. I'll say 15. I'm going to read 15 bytes from this file. If you run the program again, you will get only 15 bytes. You see? Okay. Sometimes it makes more sense to read the content of a text file one line at a time. We will be using a one new function that is readline. This function we can use. So it will return the first line from a file. If you run the program, you will see hello Python is only retrieved. Okay, this first line. What if you want to get the second line from a file, then you have to repeat the same statement. Run the program, you will get another line. You see? The other helpful function for reading text file is the readlines function. Applying this function on this file object returns a list of string that contains each line of the file. So instead of print, I'm gonna take one object and then f dot read lines function, and I'm going to print lst, and then we will also see the type of this object just to make sure whether it's a list type. Okay, let's run it. All the strings in a list object, and this slash n escape character represent a new line in the file, and this object is a type of list. Now let's see how to create a new text file in Python. To create a new file in Python, we will still use open function. So I'm going to take a new file name append text1.txt. Okay, instead of r, I'm going to take x. X for exclusive creation. Okay, and I'm going to use one function from this f object, that is write. It is for writing some content into the file. The content we have to pass here. This is the test file. Okay, we don't need other statements. What will happen? So this code will create a new file with this name. Okay, let's run the program. There is nothing as an output, but you will see a new text file is being created, right? This is the content that we have just passed to this write function. Okay, so write function, we have seen how to write data, but what if we want to write multiple lines in the file? Okay, so we can use writeline function. I'm going to use the same file name, and this time I will use mode as W, right? And I'm going to create a list, and that is C, right? This is a list object that I'm going to pass in write line, that lst. Let me run the program. You will see this file name that abc is just written. Okay. If you want to create lines, then you have to just say escape character. Okay, like this. Okay, run the program again. See the file again. You see A, B, and C in a different line. All right. So far we have learned how to work with a regular text file. However, sometimes data comes in a CSV format, and it is common for data professionals to retrieve required information and manipulate the content of CSV files. So there are two common methods of opening a CSV file. One is using the CSV module and other is using the pandas library. Okay, first we will use the CSV module. So I'm going to remove this code, and I have a sample CSV file that has some data in comma separated form, right? This is the header row and this is the data of this file. Okay, let me mention the name of the file, sample data.csv, and we have to import a CSV module. We have to import CSV module. This is built-in module in Python. Okay, and we will use the same with context manager. Open built-in function. We will use file path. We will pass by default read will be the mode, and we will create a object name f, and then let me take a reader object and then csv dot reader function, and we will pass this f object, and then delimiter we have to pass on delimiter. So this is how we can get the data from this file. We have to traverse all the rows. Let me take row in reader object and then print this row. We have made a mistake here. This is delimiter, right? And the program again. You will see all the data on the console window, which is in the CSV file. Okay. Now let's see how to write some data into this CSV file. I'm going to take one row. Okay, this is a row, index, name, and email. With help of writer function, I'm going to pass this data. This is a file. We need to remove it, and then we have to use write row function. This function, and row 1 we have to pass here. All right, run the program. Yes, we have to pass another mode, that is a mode. Open for writing, appending to the end to the file if it is exist, right? Let's run the program. You see there is no output, but if you now open the file, you will be able to see a new row is being created. If you want to say 10, so you will see a new row will be created. Okay. Again, if you open the file and you will see a new row is now added to the CSV file. All right. Now let's see how to create a new CSV file. So I have very simple code snippet with me to save some time. Let me paste it over here. Okay. Right. So we have used open function. Let's say we call it sample data one.csv. Okay. We are going to use w. Okay. And new line as a blank we will leave. Writer function we are using and passing the file object, and in this writer we are writing row. Okay. First we have written a header row, and then we have written three individual rows. If I run the program, you will see a new file will be created in the same folder. Okay, you see sample data1.csv is being created, and then we have these three rows which are comma separated. Okay, now let's see the second way to read data from CSV file with the help of pandas library. I'm going to remove this code, right? Instead of import CSV, I'm going to use import pandas as PD. Alright. If you have not yet installed the pandas library on your computer, you have to just type in command pip install pandas. Okay. If the pip is not installed on your computer, then you have to first install pip and then you have to install pandas. So I'm going to take one object name and then pd.read csv we will use. And file path we have to pass on and just print data. Okay. Run the program. You see, we have got the data from this CSV file that we have just created, right? Right? Another popular file format that we mainly use for storing and exchanging data is a JSON. JSON stands for a JavaScript Object Notation, and it allows us to store data with key value pairs separated by commas. In this section, we are going to load a JSON file and work with it as a JSON object, not as a text file. So I have a JSON file with me, which I am going to read. So what we have to do, we have to use a library that is JSON. Okay, I'm going to import JSON, and with context manager, employee.json, we will refer here. Okay, json.load function. We will pass this object here. We will say content. Let's end the program. You can see the JSON data is retrieved from this JSON file. You see. Now let's its type as well. Okay. Type of content. All right. And the program again. So you will see it would be a list type data. Okay. Right. Let's say I remove this square bracket and keep only one employee record. Okay. Save the file and run the program again, then you will notice that now type of the object is changed. It is dictionary now. Now let's traverse the JSON files. Okay, I have some code handy to save some time. Let me paste the code here. Okay, name, age, and country. Okay, name, age, and country we have keep here, and this is a name. All right, let's end the program. Okay, because we are looping through the data, so we need the list object. We have saved the file again. Now you will run the program, then you will get its data. You see? Okay, because we are traversing a list object and we are finding the field's value. We have got two records from this employee.json data. This is one for John, this is second for Bob. If you want to get any specific index value from this content object, that is also possible. If you say, I don't want to loop through it, right? I just want to get like this. I'm saying that is one index and then it is a country. Okay, run the program. So what it says just it says this is the China country because this is the line that we have just printed. All right. If you want to get other field from other record, Let's say name. I want the value from name field from first record, right? From this record. So it would be a John. Run the program. You will see it is John. So this way as well, you can get any value from any field from any particular JSON record. So you may have a scenario where you have some JSON data string. For example, you have this data. Okay. Now you want to read this JSON string and you want to create a Python dictionary object. How you will do? Let me say dictionary1 and then json.loads function you have to use. Okay. And JSON string it will ask and will return a Python object, right? So let me print the dictionary1 and let me say print dictionary1 and give me the value of name field, right? Let me also get the type of this dictionary1. Okay, run the program again. We'll see it is a John and it is a type of dictionary, right? So you are able to successfully convert this JSON string to the Python dictionary object. If you want to perform pretty printing on JSON string, that is also possible. Okay, let me print and say json.dumps and then this dictionary1. I'm saying just set indent as 8 spaces. In the program, this is pretty printing. Okay, we have left the indenting with 8 space. If you want to make it 15, so your indenting would be increased from the left. Okay, you see now the indenting has been increased with these many characters. Okay, if you want to sort your field keys with the output, that is also possible. You have to just say sort keys. We will get the sorting order of these fields, right? So age would be printing at first position. Okay, run the program. You will see age is printed on the first position. Let's say you have a dictionary, right? This dictionary. Okay, and you want to convert that dictionary to JSON. Let me remove this code, move this as well. Let's say JSON object. I'm going to take json.dumps function we will use, which actually returns the JSON object, right? And person dictionary we will pass here. Okay, let me print JSON object and we will get the type of this object. Okay, run the program. You will get your JSON object. We have passed a Python dictionary object that returns a JSON string to us. Okay, let's say you want to write some data to JSON files. So with the help of open function, we can use. Let me remove the code. We'll use with context manager, open function and a file path. And we will use w mode. Okay, as JSON file. Let me take employee1.json as a file, right? This file will be created in the source folder, right? And I'm using json.dump function. Pass this object. We have to pass this dictionary here. Okay, let's end the program and see there will be a new file in this source folder. You see, employee1.json is now created with this data, right? We have passed this dictionary to dump function and then this dictionary has been now converted into the JSON file, this new file. All right.
That brings us to the end of the today's video. We hope you found it informative and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on all things tech related. Thanks for watching and we will see you in the next video.